Welcome to this video on Java 8 interview questions, essential topics and answers. In this video, we will go over 5 important Java 8 interview questions with clear and simple explanations. If you find this helpful and want more, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon, so you do not miss future episodes. Let us get started. Let us go to the first question. What are the key features of Java 8? Java 8 was a game changer. It introduced several powerful features that made Java more efficient, readable, and modern. Let us quickly go over the key highlights. Lambda expressions allow us to write cleaner and more concise code by replacing anonymous classes with simple functions. This reduces boilerplate code and improves readability. Functional interfaces were introduced with built-in types like predicate, consumer, and supplier. These make functional programming easier in Java. Streams API provides a new way to process collections efficiently. With streams, you can filter, map, and reduce data in a more declarative and readable way without writing complex loops. Default and static methods in interfaces allow interfaces to have methods with implementations. This makes it easier to add new functionality without breaking existing code. The optional class helps avoid the dreaded null pointer exception by providing a safe way to handle missing values. The new date and time API introduced the Java time package, which offers a modern and easy-to-use way to work with dates and times. Java 8 made coding smoother, faster, and more functional. If you have not explored these features yet, now is the time to dive in. Let us go to the second question. What are Lambda expressions in Java 8? Lambda expressions in Java 8 provide a way to write functions without giving them a name. They help reduce extra code and make programs easier to read. Before Java 8, if you wanted to run some code in a separate thread, you had to write a lot of lines. Even for something simple like printing a message, you had to create a class, override a method, and then write your logic. This made the code long and repetitive. Java 8 introduced Lambda expressions to make this process much simpler. Instead of writing all that extra code, you can just write what needs to be done. For example, before Java 8, you had to create a whole class just to print Hello Java 8. But with Lambda expressions, you can do it in just one line. The result is the same. It prints the message to the console, but the code is much shorter and easier to understand. Lambda expressions make Java code simpler, faster, and more readable. You do not need to type unnecessary things. You just focus on the actual logic. That is it. Lambda expressions make Java programming more efficient and clean. Let us go to the third question. What is the Streams API in Java 8? The Streams API is a feature in Java 8 that helps process collections in a simpler and more functional way. Instead of using loops and writing a lot of code to filter or transform data, you can use streams to do it in a clean and readable manner. Let us look at an example. Imagine you have a list of names. You want to find all names that start with the letter J, convert them to uppercase, and then print them. Before Java 8, you would have to use loops and if conditions to check each name, change it, and then print it. That takes a lot of lines of code. With the Streams API, you can do all of this in just a few steps. First, you turn the list into a stream. Then, you use a filter to keep only names that start with J. After that, you use a map to convert them to uppercase. Finally, you print each name. The result is the same, but the code is much cleaner and easier to understand. The Streams API makes working with data simple. You do not need to think about how to process each element manually. Instead, you just describe what you want to do, and Java handles it for you. This makes your programs more readable and efficient. Let us go to the fourth question. What is the optional class in Java 8? The optional class in Java 8 helps handle null values safely and prevents errors caused by accessing null objects. One of the most common problems in Java is the null pointer exception, which happens when you try to use an object that is null. Before Java 8, you had to manually check if a value was null before using it. If you forgot to check, your program could crash. With the optional class, Java provides a better way to handle this situation. Instead of directly storing a value, you wrap it inside an optional. This way, you can check if a value is present and decide what to do if it is missing. For example, if you try to store a name but the value is null, optional allows you to provide a default name instead. So instead of getting an error, the program simply uses the default value and prints it. This makes code safer and more reliable. You do not need to write extra null checks everywhere. The optional class makes handling missing values much easier. That is it. The optional class helps prevent errors and makes Java programs more stable. Let us go to the fifth question. What is the difference between map and flat map in Streams? The map method and the flat map method are both used in the Streams API, but they work in different ways. The map method applies a function to each element in a stream and returns a new stream with the transformed elements. It works well when each element is independent. The flat map method is used when elements in the stream contain lists or other nested structures. Instead of returning a stream of lists, flat map combines everything into a single stream. This is useful when you need to process nested collections and want to work with individual elements instead of groups. For example, imagine you have a list where each element is another list of names. If you use map, you will get a stream of lists. But if you use flat map, all the names will be combined into one single list, making it easier to process. In short, map transforms elements one by one, while flat map flattens nested data into a single stream. That is it. Flat map helps simplify complex data structures, making them easier to work with in Java streams. That is the end of this episode. If you found this helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay updated. More Java 8 questions are coming in the next episode, so stay tuned. See you next time.